As president of the University of Saskatchewan, it is my distinct pleasure to celebrate the achievements of Joy Kogawa, one of Canada's finest authors. We honor her not only for her internationally renowned work as a writer, but for her community service and ongoing contributions to Canadian society. Joy Kogawa has acknowledged that her literary career began while she was a student at the University of Saskatchewan in the late 1960s, when she published her first work, a book of poetry titled The Splintered Moon. That collection was the start of a celebrated career that has earned her some of the country's highest honors, including being made a member of the Order of Canada in 1986 and a member of the Order of British Columbia in 2006. Born in Vancouver, it was her childhood experience in BC that shaped her future work as an author and an activist, after experiencing firsthand the internment of Japanese Canadians by the government during the Second World War. The unjust removal of 22,000 Japanese Canadians from their West Coast homes and their forced relocation to internment camps became the inspiration for her celebrated 1981 novel, Obasan. That novel was named one of the 100 most important books in the country by the Literary Review of Canada and earned her the Canadian Authors Association Book of the Year Award. By the end of the 1980s, it was being taught in schools and universities across the country, including here at the University of Saskatchewan. Joy Kogawa worked tirelessly to educate and lead the redress movement that obtained compensation and reparation for Japanese Canadians in 1988. In 2010, Japan presented her with the Order of the Rising Sun for her extraordinary contributions to preserving and sharing the history of Japanese Canadians. And Joy Kogawa continues to create to this day, writing the narrative for East of the Rockies, released by the National Film Board in 2019. That project won the 2020 Canadian Screen Award for Best Video Game Narrative. Today, it is my pleasure to further honor Joy Kogawa for a lifetime of achievements as we award her an Honorary Doctor of Letters from the University of Saskatchewan.
Joy Kogawa, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the legislature of the province, and with the consent of the Senate of the University of Saskatchewan, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa, and invest you with all the powers, rights, and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
What a surprise in my old age to get this honor from the University of Saskatchewan. It's one of those things that makes a person think, well, the days of old age must be the best years of my life. And I'm so happy to know that it's the Retirees Association of the university that has prompted all this. Yay to the old people of the world. Let's unite, let's live to the very end. Let's go from this earth knowing that we have belonged here. It's a wonderful world, it's a wonderful planet. There's so much we have lived through, and there's so much ahead for everybody else that's still going to be here when we're gone. But it's been a great ride. It's been such a high. So I want to say thank you, first of all, before I say anything else. Thank you to the University of Saskatchewan. And I just was looking at the email and I saw that there were so many people to thank, but most of all, I think it's the Retirees Association of the university that has thought about this. And so I say, good for us old people. And it's just great to be part of what the university is doing. You know, Saskatchewan has meant so much to me. It's where I first started to write. It's the province where there was this turning point time in 1964 when I was living in Moose Jaw that I became a writer. Up to that point, I was living to write, and I changed that. There was a crisis in my life, and I began to write, to know life, writing to live rather than living to write. And that was a turning point. That's when poetry started. And it was in Saskatoon at the University of Saskatchewan that I brought my poetry, and my first book of poems, The Splintered Moon, was published there, published while I was there. It was published by Fred Cogswell of New Brunswick. What it came down to, the one thing that I could trust was I could trust in goodness. I could put my faith in the arc of goodness that I believed. And the words I had at the time was that God is good. You hear that chanted these days by all kinds of people. But that is what I held, that there was an arc of goodness and humanity was on it. So it gives me confidence in times of war and horror, the Holocaust, all the things that have happened that tell us that evil triumphs. Not so. Evil triumphs for a season, but not for eternity. That there is an arc of goodness that we can have confidence in as part of the human race, human species. So my gratitude, first of all, I guess, is for that realization and for the connections that have been made along the way of my long life, and for the many honors that have come my way, for which I am very grateful. And now at this stage in old age, particularly during the time when there is decline and when normally this category is put into a situation of no value, to receive this honorary doctorate, I think is both a surprise and a delight and a great honor. So I want to thank the Retirees Association of the University of Saskatchewan and a huge number of other people who have made this project a reality. And it helps to make these the best years of my life. Thank you so much, all of you who have helped to make this true.